We are live. Um, and while we're waiting for people to come on here, I'm just gonna, well, the shop is kind of a mess here. So, Turbo just pulled it off the truck. We've got Tony's 850, Brian's, Ron's 146, Old Blue, or what did Lola call it? Blueberry. Don't have a name for it yet. Then Turbo. Back there's the 2-up. I'm gonna edit that video today, come out probably next month. Probably edit it today. Oh, and then watercross sled back there. I don't know how I had this organized earlier this year, but this shop was organized earlier this year. Wow. We are going to I think this last weekend was rad, or this last week was amazing. Snow was incredible. 3 days of blower pow. Like, oh gosh, it was amazing. But that's behind us. I don't think we're gonna have another day like that. So I'm going to be putting away the old Turbo here. So I'm just going to do a few little winters or summarization things to it. Just to, so it's good for when I pull it back out next year. So we'll get started on some of that right now. Just hang this up here. Yeah, gosh. But I hope some of you have been out riding, and you got to ride some of that storm. I'm not sure where all it hit. I didn't look at all. I just knew it was hitting us hard, and we rode hard. Yeah, first things first. Oh, it's over here. I am going to throw in some fuel stabilizer. Into this guy, because you don't want your fuel going bad. I heard once, I just run the ethanol gas, just regular 91. My dealer did some research about it, and they did some dyno stuff, or got some dyno stuff, and you actually don't get it any better performance with the non-ethanol stuff. So you actually get better performance out of the ethanol fuel. So I am just running that. So we're gonna put, what does this say? 1 ounce. Okay. All right. This is just the Skidoo stabilizer. So there's probably 10 gallons in here. So 5.5. There's 5.5 ounces, right? Man, that's gonna take forever in this thing. I wonder if I can, or 5 ounces. Might as well just use this cup here. Let's see. I'm gonna see if anybody's jumped on yet. Cool. Yeah, we got some people. Have any of you that are on now, have you summarized your sleds, or are you still out riding? I'm not done riding. This sled I'm probably done riding. I kind of quit riding the turbos. Sorry, I had to walk over here to grab my rag and glove. But I kind of quit riding the turbos in the spring, just because I think it's more fun to ride the NA sleds. I kind of feel like the turbo gets a little heat soaked, and I just have more fun on the NAs, I guess. So that's why I switch. But yeah, I'd love to know if anybody else is. Hopefully, everybody else is still out riding. Yeah, let me know if you are. So I didn't it's gonna take forever to fill up this. It's gonna take forever to put 5 ounces in that because that's half an ounce. So I'm just gonna fill it up from this other side here. So, oh man, got that all gross. All right. Got oil all over my seat. Yeah, so fuel stabilizer. If you haven't ever summarized a sled before, if this is your first time, fuel stabilizer for me, kind of the number one thing to do. Just because your fuel starts to go bad really fast, and then it goes bad. And it's probably about it. Wow, this is about as much as one tank will hold. So if I do end up riding this again, I'll fill it up on my way home, and then I'll gas up, and then I'll just put stabilizer in when I get home, just to keep it stabilized for the season, for the off season. So yeah, stable, number one thing to do. I wonder if I can get that stuff back in there. Probably not. I'll have to just dump that in. Let's see. Next on what I do for summarization is I grease the skid. And I don't know how many of you guys done this. I usually do it a couple times a season. I think I didn't do it this season. I usually do it once mid-season, and then once at the end. But once at the beginning and once in the middle, once at the end. There aren't very many grease certs. This is the Skidoo greases in here. So there's 2 on this here, and then is that it? Can't remember. I think it's just those 2 on these. Oh, I was riding locked out. Oh. Wow. That's interesting. I wonder how long I was riding with it locked out. It probably would have been getting a lot better ride with it not locked out. I was thinking I should check that. I wonder when I did that. I may have to mess around with that a little bit more next season. Just testing out the locked out and the knot. So then after I grease it, I just go and wipe off the grease that squirted out. Man, I can't believe I was riding with it locked out. Does it compress at all? It probably makes sense why it wasn't wheeling at all, because that's the rear. I wasn't getting very much ski lift. Just curious. I'm curious if it compresses at all when it's locked out. Huh. Now let's move it to 2. And does it? Yeah, it does. Okay, well, crazy. So, I'm not gonna do it today. just because I might move it around. The other thing I'll do is I'll top off the oil, which I'll do now, but I just top off all the liquids, gas, oil. I heard once with the gas that has ethanol in it, if you fill it all the way up, then there's not as much room for it to build condensation. So I will top off the oil. We'll do that now. Sorry, I'm kind of a one guy deal today, like a lot of days. So I'll try to find a spot for you to sit. Is that okay there? Yeah. So yeah, we'll top off the oil. And top off the oil, and then the other thing I'll do, which like I said, I'm not gonna do now because I may have to drive it back and forward a little bit, just moving things around in the shop. But I will take off the belt, and I have built this little, sorry, here. I have this tote here, this, I don't know what you call it, container, and then we put, I made these belt holders. So we'll put the belt and then which one they're from, because the belt's broken in for that sled and that clutch, right? So belt goes in here so this one's for the 146. This is for Tony's old Peep sled. So that's Ron's now. So maybe I'll give that to him, or we'll move it over. Oh, my 850. So old Blueberry. Let's see. Oh, it's for my turbo. So this is the one right here. Nick's turbo. He's not leaving his sled this year, so I'll have an extra one. Yeah, and then I store them in here so they stay clean. Is that a new belt? What the heck is this? Oh, this is my old one. Oh, okay. And then I keep an old one just in case. It's a little glazed, but it wasn't awful. I am going to, I think at the first of next season, I'll probably put a new belt on. I think you get a lot better performance. This year I felt like I was pretty good at keeping up on like washing my belt and my clutches a lot, and that helped a ton to keep the sled performing so well that it broke out a chain case and destroyed a track and all that. So that was super. But no, so other than that, I will wash them. And I might pull the hood off and just check I might do that in the fall, but I will go through. I just want to double check everything, make sure everything's looking good under the hood. So, man, that lockout thing is just really in my head. I'm like trying to remember back, like, was it making me a better rider or was it making me not a better rider? I'm just gonna have to get out and goof with it on the snow next year, I guess. You have to remember that. The other thing I'll do is I'll go through the tunnel bag, make sure everything's all right. I probably need to air it out. So I'm going to pop that open now and kind of just make sure it's good here. Yeah, like I've got my, oh, sorry, left kind of behind there. Like my old sandwich bag is in there. I want to throw away because you don't want to have moldy stuff in your tunnel. I'll pull my waters out. Probably needed to take those out a few days ago. Some wet gloves. Go dry those out. But yeah, if I just left that in there all summer, it'd be all moldy. So it's no fun to open your bag and find a bunch of gross stuff, especially expensive gloves. These ones are about shot, but you just don't want to have that happen. My chain case oil is brand new because I had to replace that. So I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, other than that, I think that's good for that. Yeah. So for the other sleds, I guess we'll just have to kind of guess. So I have this 55-gallon drum that I fill up with gas, and then I just put stable in that, or seafoam in it, to stabilize it. But I think I'm probably going to switch to riding these two sleds for the rest of the year, just because it's kind of more fun. Oh, and then the old 850, because that's a fun sled to ride. I'm excited, very excited to ride that some more. Yeah, we'll maybe I'll grease Tony's sled. So the other things I wanted to talk about was, I really hope you guys are out still riding, because you know what, riding conditions right now are all right. It's spring snow. I mean, like I said, this week I rode 3 days of blower pow, and then 1 day of it started to set up. Still good snow, started to set up. So yeah, there's still awesome snow to be ridden out there. Let me set you down over here. I'm gonna grease these guys' skids. Oh wait, did I miss one? Or do I not have that? Because I have a different. There is one more to grease in your back, like the pyramid thing. But yeah, so you just kind of have to adjust your expectations, right? But there's still plenty. Where did I put my gloves? Boy, I tell you what, I lose everything there. There's still plenty of snow out there. But you just have to drive to it, and that's usually, that's a lot of what I've been doing is driving to the snow. But it's not bad, especially here in Utah, because it's like a paved road up to where they just like stop plowing up where I'm riding, and you just jump off the road, you just like ride, and you're so much closer to the top, and it's actually pretty awesome. I really think it's fun. I don't go out with the expectation of riding the crazy lines, right? Like, I'm not going out like, all right, I'm gonna ride the sickest line I've ever done in my life, because like the snow is so different. You go out and it's so fast. Like, the snow is so fast. Like, you get, what I mean by that is like you're side hilling, and all of a sudden, and you got to turn downhill, and all of a sudden you're just flying down the hill out of control. Oh, Tommy has one here too. Did I have one? So you're flying down the hill out of control, and so you just have to be ready for that kind of thing, which can be really scary. You're like, you're flying down the hill to some tree, and you got to throw it on edge real quick. It's like a little freaky. But if you go out knowing that, then you try your hardest not to get into situations like that where you're out of control, having to go down a steep hill. Sometimes if you're me, you get yourself into those situations often, but you can try to mitigate it. Mitigate it? Is that the right word? Anyways, you try to lessen that by, trying to make smart choices and go not such steep stuff, or find alternate ways down, and going side hilling under power. Oh man, side hilling under power, and that kind of deal. But oh man, this thing is It's just falling off left and right. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, Tony's all greased up now. I kind of like to grease this time of year. Sorry, I should have said this earlier. But I do like to grease up the sleds before we put them into storage, so that way it kind of pushes any water that was in there out. And you just have less chance of rusting things out. You know what I'm saying? So Tony's got a little bit of work to do on his sled here, but we, just some maintenance work things. He had a little wreck, so we got to fix the front end a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to do that this fall or this spring or this fall. But I'm pretty sure that he's going to fix it. His track and skid, I think, are all fine. We can put you down here with me. So yeah, but his front end's messed up a little bit, or his hood and stuff is messed up a little bit. It's kind of got a lot of duct tape. Oh, and his nose cone got jacked. So grease up Brian's. Is it just like pouring out some? Oh, yep. I was like, wow, we're really pumping a bunch in here. I'm not seeing it come out. It's not that much. Yeah, this is, if your sled's squeaking a bunch, it's probably because you need some grease. Well, maybe not. I don't know. There are a ton of spots on this that can squeak. Is there not one? Oh, there is one up here. Oops. Let's go back and do that on Tony's. Okay. And then there's one back here. So on my sled, I'm running the Tom's suspension. So it's the Fox shocks, but he did the rear skid. The rear skid has a different mount for the back. It's still locked out and everything, but it hooks up different, so you don't have any grease zerks in it. So mine didn't have all of these. So if you're just running stock stuff, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 grease zerks that you got to hit. And I need to make sure there's one I may have missed. All right, Brian's got quite a bit in his. Cool. Yeah, we'll just come through and wipe these clean. But yeah, like I was saying, the riding conditions out there are fine. Like, it's just going to be harder snow. And so, like, side hilling is a lot harder. And side hilling is harder to do because you're not cutting in, right? And you're going to slide down stuff a lot more. So, like, elevatoring is kind of fun. But, it's a little more scary too, right? Because you're sliding down stuff. The other thing you want to keep in mind when you're out this time of year is like the gear that you take with you. You're gonna want to you're really gonna want to bring a couple sets of gear. Not sets of gear. You're gonna want to make sure you have layers, because the weather can go from like hot to cold really fast. And also, I think this time of year is much better to ride in the afternoons. If you can swing it, like an afternoon evening ride, I think personally is better. because the snow's a little softer. So one, you don't overheat as much, and then two, you're not you're able to cut into the snow a bit more. I gotta see if I missed that. No, I don't. Oh yeah, it replaced that. Interesting. Okay. Well, these three are greased up. We'll grease up the other ones another time. But I just wanted to get those guys greased up. I'm gonna have to get more stable to grease these other guys, or to stabilize their sleds, or see if they'll, yeah, see if they're cool with just seafoam. Yeah, when you go out spring riding this time of year, like I'm gonna start switching. I got this sweet old school climb jersey here. Some dirt on that. So I'm gonna wear this under my coat. I'm gonna bring a coat, this, and then when it gets warm, I'm gonna take the coat off and just have that jersey on, or a dirt bike jersey, something like that. But then I'm also gonna have a mid layer that I can put on over that, under the coat when it gets cold, because it will. The temperature is like crazy this time of year, right? It'll be hot, cold, depending on what aspect you're on. If you're in the shade, in the sun, like it's just a roller coaster. Like bottoms though, I just wear bibs and like lighter pair of long johns, just normal stuff to wear. Yeah. Yeah. And then lighter gloves, and then I carry a set of warmer gloves because it, like I said, temperature changes a ton. The other thing to remember is your trail conditions. They're probably not grooming where you're at. So the trails are going to be whooped out. I know here they haven't been grooming for months, probably since mid-April, maybe before, so not months, but it's been a long time. The trails are just trash. So you kind of want to get and cut off as soon as you can. And that's what's nice about the road being open so far up, is you're not having to ride this trashed out trail forever, right? So you're riding decent trails, or you're driving up and then riding trash trails till you cut off. So just keep that in mind. Like, this is part of what happens. Yeah. And then if they're icy, you're going to overheat a lot. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to need to figure out a way, because you're not really going to want to like chainsaw into the side of the trail. You might suck up a rock. So just keep that in mind. But there are tons, in my opinion, tons of fun things to do, right? So you're going to be able to, like, sorry, I'm going to set this up so I can sit down here on the old 850. But like, I wrote them down because I didn't want to forget. But like, we go out and we build the jump. I'm not a jumper, but I love watching the guys jump. So we build jumps. We build race tracks and do time trials around them, which is really fun. We explore and find areas. Like, there's a ton of new zones that I'm going to ride next year that I found this spring. And then we'll have barbecues, and then like just goof. Like, we'll go out and just goof around. Let's see. Oh, also taking out the old sleds. Like, it's fun. Like, I just rip around on this thing, have a great time. And yeah, can't go wrong with an old sled, in my opinion. So let's see. I said building the racetrack, jumps, explore, old sleds, cookouts. Just hanging out with your buddies on the mountain is a nice. For me, it's a really great way to just kind of unwind and relax a little bit, and get away from everyday life type stuff. But yeah, it's spring riding. A lot of guys have already put their sleds away or will put their sleds away, but if you can keep riding, like, it's fun. I have a great time spring riding. And a bunch of my buddies do. Hopefully, the hard part is finding guys to go out, and because things get busier and they don't have the powder pulling them. So, if you can find a buddy to go out with, that's awesome. If you can't, it's a bummer. But I also think this time of year is the best time to take out kids. Like, I'll take my girls out, and we'll ride around, and they will have a great time because they don't get stuck, right? They can go pretty much anywhere on their little sled, and we just have fun. So, those are kind of what I want to talk about today. If you have any ideas for things you'd like to talk about in the lives, comment, and we can talk about that stuff. I like, so spring riding's awesome. Obviously I like midwinter riding the best, right? Or winter riding. You don't have to worry about hitting stuff, tons of powder, and I can ride the trees and not worry about sliding down into a tree or a rock or off a cliff or something. But then I can also, get out and so spring riding's, it's fun. So anyways, we'll be at a video on Wednesday. I have a video coming out. I think it's fixing the 146, because in the last video, if you saw on Saturday, we broke that. So fixing that, getting it back on the snow. Spoiler alert, it worked and it's fine. Now I'm probably gonna ride it on Wednesday, hopefully. So I think that's about all I have. Thanks for coming and watching. If you're watching this after, feel free to leave a comment, and hopefully I'll see it if you have something you want to talk about. Otherwise, hopefully you're still out on the snow. There's still plenty of it out there to ride. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming by. How do I end this?